Hi, Claudia.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to be your moderator.
Okay, perfect.
So basically, I'm just like I'll open the session and then I'll hand it over to you, and then I'll
Okay,
kind of monitor the chat for questions about stuff that for state types of questions that'd be for me, and then anything for you. If I see something and you don't address it, then I'll say something. You know what I mean? I'll say something.
okay. Yeah, perfect.
And at the end, I'll be posting up two links for us. And I know that you guys have your own link too that you need to go up
For
there.
the survey, yeah.
Yeah, so I have two surveys for Department of Ed, and I think you guys have an instructor one, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's basically it. They're still in the demo slam. I mean, they're still in the opening. So
Okay,
I'm going to, oh, and then you have this auto recording, correct?
correct.
So we're already recording. And then people can join automatically, so you're not having to let them in.
Right, I already canceled the waiting room right now, so they can just come right in.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to jump out and go look to see where they're at. And then I'll
Okay,
jump back in. Okay.
all right.
Right.
See you in a little bit.
Okay, bye. Hey, I'm back. Let me check though really quick to see. Okay, come on, where are you at? View options. Where is my Teams? Maybe.
Now, how did they register for this event?
They registered through, I think they sent out an email or something, and then they sent it out. There was one global announcement that went out through Clark County School District. Okay, that looks, are people coming in? Is that, yeah.
Yep, here they come.
I was just gonna ask them, what's the status? They must have finished early.
While you guys are coming in, welcome. I've launched a poll. Let me know what kind of instructor, what level you teach. Let me turn off that doorbell. We don't need that. We still have about 3 minutes, so we'll just wait. Just go ahead and answer that poll as you're coming in.
It was already fixed. Okay. So Roxanne, let's see. Oh, hey, so you guys don't paste up forms for people up in the chat area, okay? Because we have separate things to give people. My name is Kathy Lefevre. I work for the Nevada Department of Education, and I am the moderator. So please don't post up links to other things, because we will get another link at the end of this session. You're going to get three different links from us. Two from me for your attendance and for your exit survey, and then you're going to get one from Claudia on a survey for instructor. So, okay. So the poll is on your screen. It says grade level instructor. So we'll start in about a minute. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, sometimes it's confusing when people start posting like links and then I don't know what it's for. So if you're going to post a link, make sure you say what it is, like what it's for. Yeah, otherwise that's fine if you're posting a link, okay? You see that, Claudia? She says that she doesn't see the poll on her screen.
Oh, that's fine. You can just tell me in the chat your grade level. You might have a pop-up blocked or something to that effect that it won't show for you.
Okay, so it is 9:35. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Again, my name is Kathy Lefevre, and I actually am a contractor for the Nevada Department of Education over the Nevada Digital Learning Collaborative. And today, in this session, it's called Digital Learning for Littles, and we have an instructor trainer, Canvas, right? Because a lot of people don't know that instructor is Canvas, that instructor is your parent company. So I'm going to turn this over to Claudia, who is going to she's the presenter.
Thank you, Kathy, for moderating. Yes, my name is Claudia Dilden. Welcome to Digital Learning for Littles. Let me give you a little background about who I am. I've taught in education for over 22 years. I have taught anywhere from kindergarten all the way up to adult ed. My background is as a reading teacher and a reading specialist. So some of my examples are based on the reading side, but think about how they can apply in your area. And I did put some math ones in there. I've been a Canvas user for about 7 years. I was part of the team that brought Canvas into our district, trained our teachers. I've used it as an admin, a course designer, and as an instructor. I have a degree in curriculum and technology. And then a fun fact about me is I live on a little island off the southwest coast of Florida, just north of Sanibel and about 2 hours south of Tampa, if any of you are familiar with the area. All right, so I see we have in our audience K-8 basically, and some resource teachers. I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. So don't worry if you didn't get that, that's all right. So here's our agenda. What I'm going to do today is talk about the Canvas tools and the elementary dashboard and show you ways that you can use them. All right, so it's not really going to be a lot of hands-on in this session. It's really going to be more of a demonstration. So we're going to talk about how you can use pages. First of all, go over the elementary dashboard. How you can use pages to link content and embed content. How can you use them as interactive wiki pages? How can you leverage immersive reader? Then we'll talk about your discussion tools, independent practice. Maybe you're doing some paired activities. Maybe they're drilling multiplication tables, or they're working on an assignment together, a paired reading, or as a listening activity in a center. We'll talk about group works and collaborations, again, for using them as that paired reading or readers theater. We'll look at an assignment. We'll talk about the peer review. We'll talk about using it as an assessment. And if we have time, we'll get into the quizzes, how you can use quizzes for the assessment of drill and practice activities. So your objectives is to know the function of the elementary dashboard, how you can use that rich content editor to engage fluency content or drill and practice activities, how you can use pages for the same method, and how you can access fluency skills in an assignment, and hopefully we'll get to the quizzing tool as well. So let's first talk about pages. No, let's go back. I didn't put the elementary dashboard in here because I wanted to do it from here. Sorry about that. All right, so what is the elementary dashboard? Well, the elementary dashboard was created to mimic more the elementary school. So the K through 3rd grade, sometimes K through 5th grade. And it allowed for teachers to create courses in subject areas that they taught and have a homeroom basis. All right. So this is what you may be seeing in your area in Canvas instead of, let me show you the difference. All right. Here is our normal view. All right. So this is what Canvas normally looks like with course cards on the dashboard. When you switch it to that homeroom view or that elementary dashboard, I don't know if you have that ability. Notice I get homeroom, I get schedules, I get grades, I get resources. It's really more compact for the students and the teachers, and it's a little bit easier to follow. All right, so that is the look of the elementary dashboard. In the homeroom area, you can create announcements. All right, if you don't have the homeroom enabled, it's not going to allow you to create that announcement for your students. What's an announcement? An announcement is information about what's going on in your course. It could be you reminding the students that they have a library day or a different special coming up. It could be a welcome message. It could be what they're doing that day. I've seen it where an announcement was used as the teacher was going to be out and it gave the students the assignments that they were going to do in the module that had been opened. So it was used as a substitute plan there. And if you have questions, feel free to turn on your mic or type them in the chat. Kathy's on standby there. All right. So the new elementary course tiles now allow you to create subjects. So instead of in your modules in one course, you would have an ELA module, a science module, a reading module. You can create many courses and just house that material in there. All right. Now, for the youngest learners, this is often confusing. The K through 2, I would recommend just doing everything in the homeroom, which is fine. You can work with that. You don't have to add the additional subject areas into the course. In the subject areas, they will have things that tell them whether or not there's anything due in that particular course. So whether they have anything to work on or not. So it's another way to cue that young learner into what they need to do. All right, as well as that to-do list. It gives them that important dates. So it's taken a little while to load. I don't know why. So when they click on those important dates, they're going to get reminders of what's coming up. All right. Anything that you have set as a graded assignment with a due date is going to come in under those important dates. If you didn't give it a due date, it's going to go under their things to do list. All right. So these are just things and events that have been given a date, a due date. Just trying to help the students and the observer manage that important information. All right, and then the schedule is like an agenda. So they can click on the schedule and they can see, you know, what's going on in all of their elementary classrooms. So in their math, in their ELA, in their science, all of those are going to be here on the agenda. And I don't know if anybody is still using those agenda books, but this is a great way to sum up the lesson and say, okay, open your agenda book and let's see that they match. All right. If you're still using it that way. So the subject area cards, they really allow everything to be in one location and show any missing items here on that agenda view. So every subject is in one place on that schedule. student grades. So the intention of the grades at the homeroom level was to provide the students and the observer, which is the parent or guardian, just a very quick reference to where their student is in the course. All right. And I always said to them that, you know, if we were syncing or not syncing to the student information system, that student information system was the legal set grade, because I might have things in Canvas that I did not move over to the student information system because it might have been a practice activity. All right, I'm going to go ahead and skip this. Any questions about that overview of the elementary dashboard? I know it's quick. Just want to make sure you have an idea of what it's about and how to use it. Okay, let's go back to now. We're going to look at the content tools that Canvas has that they allow you to create different things. And we're going to start with pages. Now, pages I often think of as a page out of a textbook. It's delivering curriculum or it's delivering a resource. If I took a blank piece of notebook paper and I put a resource on it, that's a page. All right. These pages, you can use the rich content editor to link to content. You can embed content, which means it's going to play right there on the page. You can use it as an interactive page where students can write right on the page. It's called a Wiki page. And you can use Immersive Reader to read that page, that natively built content to the student. All right. And then if you wanted to use it for mastery paths, so that based on a student's performance on an assessment item, it would launch either an enrichment or a remediation pathway. All right. So a lot of things can happen. So let's talk about links in a course. All right. Now, I like to actually go into my course and I like to demonstrate that here. All right. And this is in this presentation is in the digital learning course, and I put it in there, Kathy. All right, so here's an example of how you can link to content that you already have. So you can see here, I just put in a table and an image, and then it's linked to content. So if you use Seesaw, or if you have a reading program or a math program that you link to online, you can just quickly link it. All right, so I'm going to copy this and I'll show you how to do that real quick. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to go up under edit, and I created a table, and I'm going to remove this link here. All right, so I click on my image and I come up to this link icon right here. Now this is an external tool or an external source that I'm bringing in. So all I have to do is paste that into the link field and click done. It's going to flash yellow. That's how I know it worked. All right, so in middle school, if you're using HMH readers or Achieve 3000, or you have something from Reading Works, you can link into that. If the story were on a page in Canvas, then I could link, we'll just click this image. I can link this image within the course to that page of information. All right, so if I wanted to link it to the Didx practice sheet, I could do that as well. Right. So think about this. If you create an agenda page, everything could be linked right on that page. Right. It could be Monday and then all the activities that they have to do on Monday. All right. I'm going to hit save. So that's linking. That's an example of linking content. Here's embedded content. So you can use embedded content to model instruction, or you can use it for practice at a center, practice at home with their parents, or, you know, a group practice. So if I were going to use this as an instructor to model instruction, I'm going to use it in student view to mimic exactly what the students are going to see. So here I want to do this addition video. All right, so I'm going to play the video. And it's gonna, I can go full size too if I want to. And we're gonna
Hi,
count
today
together.
we learn about addition.
All right. So it simply, how did, I'm gonna leave student view. How do I get like those YouTube videos in? All I have to do is in the edit mode, using that fabulous rich content editor. If it is allowed in your institution, you may see YouTube here. If not, you just copy the link and paste it in here, and Canvas automatically recognizes that's a YouTube video. So that's how I got those in there. All right, so again, I can use this page with embedded content to model instruction or to provide drill and practice. All right, so here's my fluency for 8th grade, 6th through 8th grade. Here's my digital edition. Now this is really cool. This is called Thinglink, and I'm going to put it into the chat. All right, and it's thinglink.com. All right, what is it? You can take an image of your class or worksheet or whatever it is, and you can create hotspots. All right, so read to somebody. Maybe I want count with somebody, or in science, tell somebody about if we're studying rocks or the water cycle. Right, here's our group lesson, and all of these are links. All right, out or hotspots out. I've used Thinklink where I created a cell worksheet, and then I had the students check their answers after they turned it in, right? I set a requirement that they had to turn that in first, and then I had a picture of my worksheet and I made hotspots on it so they could check to see what they got correct and what they got wrong. And then after that, I did a little mini quiz and kind of did an assessment of what gave them trouble in a plant cell, what gave them trouble in an animal cell, and different things like that. So, and you can embed Thinklink right in your course. All right. So I'm just going to click edit, and I'm going to show you. Under the cloud, or if you prefer the insert embed, all right, whichever one, the menu options or the icons, you get the embed code from something. All right, what's the embed code? It's looks like double arrows going in each direction. You just copy that code and you paste it right in here, right in this embed code field, and it will play there. All right, so you can embed simulations, you can embed Padlets, Quizlet, you can embed Didx, and I'll show you Didx next. I think that's what I have next. Okay, we just saved that. All right, in this one, I have used the record feature to model for the students how they should be doing their fluency practice. And when I taught fluency, I had the students, when they were talking, roll their hands and one pause for a comma. And, you know, if they had to stop longer than that, 2 pause. So I'm showing them in this recording how to do that. All right. And then there's the poem, and I want them to do that as well. How did I do that? And the younger the student, the more audio you want to bring in. Right here, under these more, this little musical kind of play button, upload and record media. So right here under record, and it's not going to show my webcam because my webcam is on for you guys, right? But it is recording my voice. All right, so it's recording, stop recording. And then I could title this whatever it is, finish that up, and then I can bring it in. All right, there's also a great tool called Vakaru. Does any of you know that? I'm probably not saying it correctly. It's a free voice recorder, and I'll put this in the chat. And all you have to do is click on the button. I'm going to record the instructions on how you should do the math and science worksheet. So please listen along. And then you stop it and you click that save and share. Here's that embed. All right, so I'm going to grab that embed code, copy it, come back into my course. Anybody remember where I said to go when we're embedding media like this, other than the recording?
Insert.
I heard
Insert.
something. Insert, yes. Insert, and then where?
Embed. The little cloud.
Very good. Thank you. Great job. That is exactly right. All right, and it's going to embed right there. Now, if you don't want it to say view in Vakaru, then you can just back it up gently and get rid of that. I always go a little bit too far. All right, so this is a great workaround if you're using new quizzes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, so you can either use the recording tool in Canvas to give your instructions, or you can use your Vakaru, or if you have any other media sources. I'm going to restore my previous version because I messed up my page. All right, which is another trick. All right, what else? Oh, here's Didx. I love Didx. I am just I love this tool. All right, so here's Didx. Let me come back here, come back up here. All right, so I'll make this one bigger and I'll come back and get that. All right, so all of these are manipulatives that you can use, right? So all you have to do is, let me get your Didx for you, put it in here, is come up here to where it says embed virtual manipulatives, pick the one that you want, grab that embed code, all right, and then come back into your course and we'll try to bring up the right stuff, this one. And you, again, just hit that, oh, I meant edit. You just hit that embed, okay? I use the icons, I don't know why I'm stuck in my head. And you just paste it in there, all right? And then it will play in Canvas. And then you can have your students, you could type in and say, I want you to make or illustrate, 4 + 3. So they can come and grab these cubes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they can grab their pencil and go plus, and then we'll go 3. Oops, yellow. And then equals, right? And they can either write the number if that's what you want them to do, or they can, I always have to do that. Or they can do the blocks, right? So you can have them illustrate, take pictures of it, and turn it in supposedly like this, because under the edit mode, if you wanted to use this as a wiki page right here, add to teachers and students can edit the page and then add to students to-do list. All right, I could even give it a due date. This is going to allow them, oh, let's give it there. Right? This is going to give them the ability to go into edit mode, write out some math sentences, and then illustrate their solutions here on the board. It becomes an active page. And I can use this view page history to go back and see which student made changes. And I can look at their work. Okay. Really can't give them any individual feedback like you can with assignments and stuff, but it's just a fun way for them to practice, you know, at a center or independently or at home with their parents, however you wanted to do that. Here's a wiki page. And so what I want them to do is, in this particular case, I want them to solve these math problems and write the answers here, right? In this one, I want them to listen with immersive reader how this is going to be read to them and practice
Wiki page
along
ES.
and practice along reading this with the
Was not like all of the other jellyfish. Hill hated her tentacles.
and they can do the speed,
She hated that she hurt people and other
voice,
animals.
right? They can do text preferences. They can do high contrast. They can change their font. They can do the syllables if you're doing decoding. They can highlight parts of speech. And they can do line focus. All right. So it will even read the math problems for them.
4 + 1 = 7 + 2 = 3 + 5 = 6 + 4 =
Right? As long as it's natively built into the page, okay, they can do that. There's also many different languages that they can choose. And so if you wanted this to, you know, be changed to Bulgarian, the document could be changed. Okay. If you have students coming in from another country, where's United States? Get it back. I know it's here somewhere. I'm just going to close it and not worry about it right now. All right. So that's one way to use the page interactive. Make sure it's in the edit mode and you have it if you want them to write on it, okay, annotate on it. Here was this poem I had, and what I wanted them to do is I wanted them, I'm going to make it larger for you guys to see. I want them to highlight in green the adverbs, purple punctuation, and red to indicate a long pause. And then they can do that in the edit mode, right? They can use the text tools here to do that. All right, so they can highlight that. As long as you give them that wiki page permission down at the bottom. Question.
Sorry. That might be what I was going to ask, because typically when I make something, I have editing permissions, but you're saying that if it's a wiki page, they will get that edit button if you allow them to have that edit button?
That's correct. If it's a normal page, you create it, but down at the bottom, you have to change it from teachers only to teachers and students.
Okay, in the options.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. And then give it a due date. Yep. And then they can go ahead and edit that page, and you can see each student's edit, right? Here's immersive reader with a kindergarten student. They're to read it 3 times at home for fluency practice. And later on, I'm going to use this as an assessment down the road. They're going to read it to me, or they're going to read it they're going to record themselves reading it. But this they could do at home. They could do it as independent practice. And they could also use highlighting with that immersive reader. Again, here's same thing for just a higher grade, more words, probably probably second and third grade level. And then this is a middle school level, again, back to my Animal Crackers poem. But think of multiplication tables. If I had built-in multiplication tables in there, they could practice that as well. All right, discussions. How can you leverage discussions in Canvas, right? So discussions, you are trying to have student to student engagement. So you're trying to have students learn from one another in the discussion tool, right? So you could do recorded passages, you could do recordings, they could explain how they solved a step, they could explain in science or music, how they would do something. If they were learning the recorder, they could play a little song on their recorder. It's demonstrating their knowledge. They could do a think, pair, share activity. I had some fluency rubrics that I had found online and recreated to do the grading. So you can add rubrics to your discussions so they know what those expectations are. Here I put the directions, right? And I also recorded the directions, and then here's what they're to do on the bottom. And then the learning goals, any parent support down at the bottom. I've used discussions as, would you rather have a flying carpet, or would you rather have a robot, right? And then, so what does the student do in a discussion? So let's look at it from the student perspective. All right, so the student is going to come down here in the discussion and they're going to hit the reply. For some reason, my students tried this, they always went here first, but it's the reply, right? Notice they get the power of the rich content editor as well. So they can come right here and they can upload and record that media. Now, the challenge here is if you're giving them something to read or something to count or practice out loud, it covers up what is in Canvas. All right. So I always had my reading passages open up in another window as well. All right, so that it didn't cover up everything. But here they could just record their conversations. I would rather have a robot because yada, yada, yada. The blue things that are around my house are, I have a blue truck, and we have a blue couch, and we have this, and we have that. So, you know, they can talk, and then someone else could reply, oh yeah, we also have a blue couch at our home. All right. And then they just post their reply when they're ready. A math problem. How did you solve that math problem? Tell me the steps. Or if I put a math problem in here, which step is wrong and why? Or did I get the correct solution? If not, tell me why. Here is a listening center activity. So they're going to listen to me read this worksheet. Now they don't have it in front of them. I just have it here so you can see it. And they're going to look and count any of the sounds AN that they hear. Oops, I don't know why that came up. How do I get rid of that? Go away. There we go. All right, so they're going to listen to me and then they're going to respond, and they're going to talk about the sounds that they hear. If you guys have ideas of how you're using discussions or any of these things, share them in the chat with one another, because that would be great. In this one, they have to determine, when I read this, am I reading this with the correct expression? Okay. Am I reading it too slow? Am I reading it too fast? And then they're going to do that themselves. All right. And again, it's just that reply. Then I had an activity where they could pick one of these fluency strips and then they could read it out loud. All right. And then they could post their recording. All right. So they practiced it a couple times. And then on the fourth one, they recorded and put it there. So you could give them different math problems. And then on the fourth one, they have to post their solution and all their work, because they could send up in the reply, they can send up a file because they get that full rich content editor. So they can bring in a file right here, right? Or they can take a picture of their scratch pad or whatever they worked on, and they can upload that. So you get that student to student interaction. In cooperative learning, so this is group learning, and we're allowing the students to be social and practice their skills in fluency. But think about them if you gave them, if you jigsawed text, let's say science text, or if you jigsawed social studies text, right? Then they could come back in to the page or to the assignment or the discussion, and they could post their summary of that section along with their file notes there as well. So you can have the students do a variety of think, pair, shares, partner readings, and other discussions using that discussion tool. All right, so here's Reader's Theater. They all get scripts. And then they can read it, and they read from their paper actually in front of them. So if you had them had summaries of a science concept, right? In Masteries Pass, I could use it to give the students a choice. Do they want to read this one or do they want to read that one? Right? If you want to know more about Mastery Paths, use your help and your Canvas guides to explore that option. In Office 365, there is a record at the beginning of a slide. So if you had students working on a PowerPoint together or something like that, you could have them record it as well. And again, the younger the student, the more audio, because they don't really know how to spell and all of that. In a Google slide presentation, they have to start in presenter view and browse the tab for recording. All right, when they are doing a collaboration using Google and recording. They could always do the Vacru and put it in there. All right, the assignment tool. All right, so the assignment tool checks for understanding and competency. So you can track the student's I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm trying to get everything in. The student submissions, no matter what type of file. You could do performance-based activities. So if you wanted them to recite their multiplication tables, they could do it this way. And you can also use third-party tools if they are part of your instance. Studio's an additional one, Office 365 or Google. So here is one from a file upload. So what they had them do is practice the fluency, record it on a mobile device or computer's software. This one had a Screencastify, and they recorded it using Studio. And just a quick little.
Okay.
So the teacher's
So
going to
we're
tell them
going
how to do
look
it first.
at our Canvas fluency assignment. This one's a little tricky, so stick with me.
And this
here.
one's on an iPad.
So on my Canvas app, I am on the home page, and this is a literacy assignment. I'm going to click literacy.
I'm going to put that in the chat, so in case you want to
Then
look at
here's
it.
my week 1 and 2, and you see this new icon, fluency practice. I'm going to click it. And it brings up this assignment.
All right, so I put that in there so you can see the whole thing. And then she's got a rubric to go with that particular assignment. Here is if they are going to do the file upload. So they're going to get the media reply. And again, make sure that the assignment that they're bringing up is in a separate, opens in a separate window. And I'll go ahead and copy this one in here. So this is media recording in Canvas example. And then there was a middle school example as well. So I'll copy that one. Middle school reading assessment. Right, so that you have those there. Oops, excuse me. Oh, that one brought me back to the front here. So let me come back and see what happened. Why did that one break off? All right, in the, I did that one. Oh, you know what this was? This was this is the one that, yeah, it's actually a movie, and I don't know why it's not going through. It shows individual students giving practice, doing the recording, and they have their actual sheet in their hand, and they're recording themselves using Canvas. All right, and then in the classic quiz tool, you can have it be an essay, right? You can make a question that's an essay, and they can record themselves reading it, right? So this is the file, and then they're going to record themselves reading that passage. And then the workaround for the new quiz, because you cannot record in the new quiz, is bringing in the Vacru or Vocru, however it is. All right. So what I did here is I made it a stimulus question, and I put the stimulus is always on the left. And then it was an essay question. They do not get the record tool, but they get that media tool where they can bring in a recording. All right. And if it's already recorded using this outside one, then they can bring that right in. All right. And they wouldn't bring in the embed. Yeah, they would bring in the embed. Yep, they would. It would be that embed as well in there. So again, think of all the things that you have, and then they just going to take that Vukru and drag it and drop it in here. And that's basically the ways that you can use. See, I don't even stick with my slideshow. I'm so sorry. Just making sure I'm going through everything. That's some of the ways. Oh, there's my guy reading that particular passage. I gave you that guy, those people, gave you her. All right, what questions do you have for me? Well, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've seen some of the Canvas tools in a new light. Do you want me to, Kathy, give them my survey link for feedback first?
Yeah,
or
go ahead and give them yours first.
Okay.
So I just want to say, while Claudia is putting that up, I really enjoyed your presentation, Claudia, because we don't get a lot of elementary stuff with Canvas, because Canvas is, you know, it started out with in the university, the higher ed, and then kind of came down to secondary ed, and it's just been really kind of new for that elementary. So I really enjoy all of the different strategies and tools that you showed in this session. They are awesome. And I'm going to use those as I work with teachers across the state with helping them build in Canvas. But I love how this is enhancing Canvas, you know, rather than just putting up links or typing text, that it shows how we can efficiently use that Canvas with our younger students. And even
Right.
our higher level students, there's some great strategies that you had. So I appreciate what you
Well,
have.
good.
said.
Thank you. I do want to also tell you, I do have in comments, I did share a module called Kindergarten. So if you want to grab that, you feel free. It has some amazing resources in it. I was trying to look for it here, see if it was in this particular.
So just don't leave the room, anybody, because if you leave and if you don't complete my survey for Nevada Department of Education, which I'm going to post up in the chat, and if you don't complete the attendance tracker, you will not get a certificate.
All right, so hang in there.
So do not leave this room. The next session doesn't start till we ended kind of early. So you guys, if you have questions, post those up and ask Claudia. That was the time. Claudia, there was a question in there about for the iPad, and I put in that, you know, you can use the Canvas Studio. And Rose, I think I put in there that, you know, you can email me and I can talk to you about Clever and CCSD. But you guys, we have, the next session doesn't start till 10:35, and so you'll have that 5-minute break. And I'm posting up these right now, so hold on a second.
Do you have access to the Yes, this is the course that's in Commons. Okay. And so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I'll just show you some of the things in the modules. And where's my, oh, there it is. So this is what I posted in there. So you have A for, you have all your colors, you know, and these are assignments. There's some geography in here. So you can, and they're assignments, so you can get some, here's stories, read to me, green eggs and ham, listening stations, math. There's just different ideas in here for you to kind of say, well, how would you do that? How do you do this? You know, it might not all be in modules. Some of it might be in pages. View all pages. And I want to show you this one lady's. I thought it was great. I've copied her ever since. Right here, classroom practice. Look at this. So she did this for independent learning, and she said, look at this video below. Right? So consonant, vowel, consonant. Then they're going to go to their table and they're going to work on this worksheet. And then they're going to put it in her mailbox. They're going to turn it in. And then they get to choose which book they want to read. So you can see how visual it is for that young learner, and they can follow step by step what they need to do here. So I thought this was great. Yeah, but it's just called Kindergarten by C. Dilgen. And it's in there. And I also, Kathy, put my presentation in your Nevada instance. So you're more than welcome to grab it and share it if you want, or make it available to the teachers.
Yeah, it's on the sessions page. So on the
Okay.
sessions page, for those of you who are like, hey, I want to go back and rewatch this session, we'll have the recording up within the next couple of days or less, with the next day or so, and then or at least by Monday, and then we will also add up Claudia's link to this presentation up there. So it'll be on the when you go to your in Canvas, where you go to the sessions, all the listed sessions, you'll see it there.
And again, you can also search by my name, Kindergarten Claudia Dilgen, and it's up there. Someone's asking, what is this room? This room is digital learning for littles.
Yeah, I put that in the chat. It's room
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.